Beast Mode Games Podcast 2018. The Beast Mode Games will take place Saturday, June 9th, 2018.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're here with another Beast Mode Game Podcast. I'm going to let my buddy introduce himself, so...
Hi guys, my name is Jared Evans, and I work for GM Alta Racket Club. I'm a fitness trainer there, but I'm also the fitness director, and I have been working there for about 3 years.
So sweet, because you're the director.
Yeah.
And with the Beast Mode Games, I really want to touch on, I guess, programming, but at the same time, I know you do some special things for those that are interested in like races and competing, so I know we got a lot to talk about, and I know you're busy, so we're going to get you in and out. So let's open up with, tell me, how did you get into fitness? What's your story?
That was a long time ago. It was when I was 16 and I was interested in martial arts.
Okay.
And that's what got me into it.
Sweet.
Started doing that early, and then I realized fitness is going to be an integral part of getting to the next level,
Yeah.
you know, in the martial arts. So that's when it started, and then after that, I started practicing more. I had a long span of, you know, coming back to that. Do I want to do this as a career? You know, I tried some other things as jobs, and it didn't work out because I didn't have my passion in that.
Yeah.
And, you know, so it was kind of a windy road, but eventually it led back to going to school, getting my bachelor's in exercise science.
Oh, nice.
Doing some internships and different things. I tried cardiac rehab and even considered physical therapy.
Sweet.
But then I thought, I want to be more on the preventative side.
Yeah.
I'd rather help people not get broken in the first place rather than fix them, and I know that's important too. But then I decided, you know, I got to be on the front line, so to speak, as kind of a trainer, and try to help people before they need to get fixed.
How's that journey been, man? I know me jumping into it, it wasn't as smooth as I wanted, you know, being the entrepreneur, and everybody's going to train me because I put a Facebook status up. You'll touch on that. What was your route? Was it just smooth, or has it been challenging, or just curious?
No, it's been very bumpy, very windy road.
Yeah.
I did try working at other places. I had a bunch of part-time jobs at one point, working at multiple gyms, just part-time, and trying to find my niche, trying to figure out what I was going to do, and it was pretty depressing at one point, honestly, until I found this gym, and then I could just dedicate my whole time to it, and I really like the people there and the atmosphere, and it's been great. So now I can really feel like I can develop my skills, but also build relationships there with the clients and the people I work with.
That's awesome.
And, you know, just elevate myself and try to bring everybody else around with
That's
me.
perfect, man. And it's cool because I know we instruct people to change their body and their mentality. And it's cool, and the reason why I ask that is also for people to hear that us as trainers or instructors, like, man, we go through challenges and sometimes we get depressed, but we got to find what works well for us, and that's how we generate the results. So for everybody, look, we normal people too, man. So, well, cool. Let's jump right into the director aspect. Like, is that, like, you wake up thinking about exercises, or you dream not of genie but of burpees? How does it work for you?
Yeah, it's always on my mind, and it's an obsession at some level, I think, and maybe even borderline unhealthy. But I'm always not so much thinking about exercises, but programs. How do I make them better? And how do I relay this information better? I'm always trying to study other people that are better than me, you know, the big names in the industry. Lately I've been checking out Paul Check and his work and trying to learn from him, but looking at the guys who are, you know, above me and trying to see what I can learn from them and then communicate that to my clients, whether it's something about nutrition or, you know, programming their workouts or exercise technique, whatever it is.
Oh, that's amazing. And I don't want to be rude, so I got to give Fitness Depot a major shout out. They're hosting our podcast today. So when y'all hearing the audio and you hear like construction trucks, it's because we out in the trench, man. We're getting it done. But so with your programming, are you doing just personalized personal training? Do you do group exercises? How does that stand when somebody comes into your doors to work for you or work with you?
We do everything. We do have some classes at our gym. That's a smaller part of what we do compared to like a big box gym, like 24-hour fitness or something like that. They have a lot of classes, but we have a couple of classes like yoga and a core training class. But outside of that, it's mostly personal training, just one-on-one, and then small group is really popular. So just like 4 or 5 people max with one trainer, so that you still get that personalized attention, but it's more affordable because you're not paying for just that one-on-one time. But I feel I try to push people more that route versus just classes, because I still like to keep track of what people do. You know, write out their program, track their exercises, their weights and reps, and try to keep them on a progression towards getting better, rather than just having them come in and sweat for 45 minutes.
Right.
Sometimes that's good,
Yeah.
but I want to show them there's a process towards achieving their goal, which we've talked about early on, figuring out where they are in the assessment and laying out a plan to, okay, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then this, and eventually get them to where they want to go.
That's awesome, man. So if, for example, Miss Lisa comes into your gym and she hasn't worked out in 10 years, is that a place where she'll be welcome, or maybe she's too deconditioned to work out with you guys? What's the aspect of someone?
No, that's my bread and butter. I love to work
Sweet.
with those type of people. I know a lot of guys are high-end sport performance people. They love to take the elite and eke out that extra 0.5% performance, and I think that's cool too.
Yeah.
But I like working with more the average person,
Yeah.
who's maybe they haven't worked out in a long time, or they've been on the couch for a while, but they used to be an athlete. Try to bring them back or get them going for the first time, and show them that they can do it. I know that's an intimidating place to be when you're trying to get in shape, or you feel like, man, I really got to get something going, but I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
I really like helping those people because I feel I can give them a non-intimidating environment to help them get started and teach them along the way.
That's incredible. So what about like gender? Is it just women or just men, or is you training women?
It's about 50-50.
Okay, sweet,
Yeah.
sweet. So I know a lot of gyms, they only train, shout out to Reggie C and a couple other guys I know, they just train women, and I know some box gyms only train men, so definitely wanted to encourage. So man, look, if you're in spring and you haven't worked out, or maybe you're just an elite athlete and you need to get your butt, hook up my boy. So good, man. So all right, so I know you like this master director, right? And then when it goes into programming, we talked a little bit about the foundation of how somebody may come into your gym, but now let's jump into like the programming for the Beast Mode games and for other races that you get people ready for. So off camera, we were talking about the Spartan race. For those that follow me personally know I'm a big fan of Spartan. Good job, guys. I love y'all. How would you get somebody ready for a race like the Beast Mode games? They've never participated at all, never seen a video, have no idea what's going on. What's the best way to attack it, you think?
Gotcha. Well, you got to take them where they are at and assess them, and not everybody's going to need the same things, but you have to build the base, I call it, the base of conditioning. So you got to make sure that they're strong everywhere and you're not working around something that they might have, like a previous injury, or they have something that they haven't trained for a long time, or just because of the nature of their job, whatever it is, like if they're an office worker and they're very sedentary most of the time, they're going to have certain restrictions that you have to address before you can have them do heavy bench presses or rows or things. If they're really tight in the front of their body, internally rotated, and they're stuck here, and then you have them trying to do really dynamic stuff, box jumps and cleans and things like that, that's not going to work. You have to loosen them up first, address the the tight areas, strengthen the weaker muscles that are the small stabilizer muscles, and then you can start to work them into more dynamic stuff. But if you don't have that foundation, then you're going to get hurt. And that's one of my biggest things is I don't want people to leave my gym more messed up than they came in. I don't want to hurt people, so I'm always a little bit on the cautious side.
Right. Like you say, prevention.
Right.
That's the reason why we do what we do. So sounds like you amazing director in programming, right? So I want to talk a little bit about your setup. I know I'm going a little bit out of what I just entered, but the setup of your actual gym. Okay. When you come to Mean Green, it's like an old garage gym. That's all that we have, right?
Right.
Tell me a little bit about y'all setup.
So we have a really nice tennis club that's in the middle of a subdivision. So and you don't really know it's there unless you just happen to be driving by. Which is kind of a thing that hurts us a little bit. I think we don't have that like street visibility. But once you're back in there, it's really beautiful. We have great guys that do our landscaping. Shout out to Paulino and Alberto. Those guys are awesome. Make it look nice, and we've got really nice cypress trees. It has a really nice venue feel to it. Beautiful courts and everything. And then the gym is tied into the club. So we've got the gym. We've got 2 stories. We've got a big room downstairs where we've got a lot of functional equipment because we focus on that for the most part. TRXs, sandbags, Swiss balls. We've got maces, a couple of them from Onnit, rip trainers, things like that. And then we do have machines and all the cardio equipment. We got a big room upstairs that's all just open with mirrors, so you can do classes in there. We could even do kickboxing, boxing, karate. We used to do up there before my time. And then we've got a really nice outdoor space that goes around the outside of the club, and that's where we've built our Spartan training facility or obstacles. So we have You know, nice set of monkey bars that we built. We've got an 8-foot wall to practice climbing up and over. Climbing rope, 25-foot climbing rope, multi-height pull-up rig, and it's got dip bars too. And then we'll take other stuff out there to work. You know, from inside that we need sleds. We got sleds to pull and drag, tires to flip or push or to hit with the maces. So we, you know, if we're going out there, it's more of like, you know, underground strength, like Zach Evanish style.
I love it.
You know,
I love it. You gave me some programming ideas for the games, man. So I might need to go check out loud, get some stuff.
There you go.
So that's dope, man. So obviously you got the Spartan race, you have the Beast Mode games. Any other races that people may, I guess, contact you about, Tough Mudders or anything like that?
Right. Yeah. I feel it's very similar in terms of that base conditioning, and then the practice is just changing up the obstacle preparation and your technique a little bit. Like in the Spartan, for example, they have one that you would probably never do in any workout, which is the spear throw. And a lot of people have trouble with that. If it's your first Spartan, you're really prepared on everything else, but you've never thrown a spear, you're probably going to miss, and then you've got to do 30 burpees. And all it takes is a little bit of practice, and you can, you know, stick it.
Really?
Yeah.
So I've only missed 2 obstacles in the 60 obstacles in the last 2 years. And those 2 were the throw each year. So I'm gonna hook up. You said small, right? Just something I'm doing bad.
It's a little technique thing. We did practice that. Our team that did the Houston sprint, we did that. You know, as our preparation. Like as we were tapering off, the workouts got less intense, but it was just more skill focus, and that was one of the things. Practicing doing that, and once you have the technique, it's not bad. It's just a little adjustment. Your grip, probably your position, finding that balance point.
I don't know what it was, dude. I'll run up. It's like, what are they doing? Okay, I seen this on the Instagram. So I'm trying to mimic everybody. So I have the other hand extended out, the other hand, and I threw it. It went like 5 feet forward. Then the next time I overthrew it, it's horrible. So I need to connect. I'm gonna get it next year.
All right, we'll do that.
That's dope, man. So you said a key word I want to touch: taper. Okay, so we talked about programming and, you know, whether you decondition or maybe extreme athlete, or how to program yourself to get into A to Z. Let's talk a little bit about, I guess, the day before, or maybe a couple of days before the Beast Mode games, or any event. What's your, I guess, preparation? What's your mindset when it comes to the taping?
Gotcha. It depends on how long you've been training for, how many, you know, cycles of your program you've been able to get in, and how hard you've been training for it. But you know, typically I would say that last week should be reduced intensity and volume, so that your body can super compensate. Everything builds back up a little bit, so that you're, you know, at a peak, so that when you go into the event, you're feeling good and you've got lots of energy. If you're you know, training hard all the way up into your event, then you're going to come in feeling tired, broken down, maybe some little nagging aches and pains that haven't gone away because you've just been pushing yourself to get ready for this event. So that last week, you want to bring it down a notch, and then the day before, probably not do any workout, maybe some very light stretching, a little bit of light aerobic work to get a stretch, but just kind of relax and prepare mentally for the event.
That's it, man. Glad you said it. So now with the Beast Mode games, right? Like I knew you were supposed to participate last time, but I think something happened to your partner or something. So this is gonna be actually your first time participating. So it's gonna be good to get some insight, because there's gonna be several people that hear this that are in the same, I guess, shoes that you're in. So what do you know about the Beast Mode games, or what you not know? What's your insight? I'm just curious.
Okay, so what I've seen, I've watched a few videos, and Kevin Johnson, he told me about it, and I've seen some of his videos. So I've seen that it's more endurance oriented, or that's my understanding. It's muscle endurance, metabolic conditioning. You don't challenge people with, you know, 1 rep maxes on anything, but very conditioning oriented. So you got to be in shape, and you got to be able to do, you know, a variety of fairly athletic movements. You got to be able to jump, do burpees. I think you guys did have cleans at one point, you know, a little bit of barbell work. You got to have some good shoulders. You guys had like a 3-minute thruster on the last one, which I'm like, wow,
it was crazy.
That's crazy, yeah. So yeah, you got to be in good shape, have good aerobic base, and good muscle endurance.
Awesome. And do you know when we actually released the workouts? Did he?
I think it's the day before, right?
So, you're good. You're good.
The preparation phase, you know, for specific skills is very short, so you just have to kind of cover all bases, be in shape, you know, be familiar with the movements you guys have done in the past, and then hope that you don't throw a curveball at us the day of.
You know, I tried to, actually. The last one was, so I think CrossFit does an amazing job, and I say this timeless, again and again. We don't necessarily look for movements that are going to destroy the elite athlete. We just look for, or I look for things that that would take everybody by storm because it's something that they possibly are not practicing. Like the last one in the team of pair, we're indoors in a basketball court.
Right.
And I had the towel push.
Yeah.
And like that's, I mean, you can do sled push, you can do, I don't know, bear crawls or things of that nature, but the towel in dealing with sweating on the floor or, you know, whatever the condition is, man, it's tough. So I like to create different things like that. But you said on the dot, you know, calisthenic movements, cardiovascular movements, resistance training, and we never, you know, do PRs or max out at specific weights.
Right.
But one thing that I recommend going forward to look at is always also look at the way you create your points. So sometimes we create points by the amount of reps that you complete in a certain time interval. Sometimes we finish first. Right. But man, it's so cool to talk to you because first and foremost, first time we've ever had a sit-down conversation, so we didn't plan this.
Yeah, no.
But it's so cool because the way your mindset is on training for the unknown by doing everything, not just focusing on cardio or just resistance training. So
right.
What's your approach, not just with the beast mode games, but just in life, only focusing on one factor of working out, whether it's just cardio or just resistance training, or are you a believer of doing everything?
I'm definitely a believer in doing everything.
Yeah.
And maybe you've got to emphasize one over the other at first because, like, for example, if a client has, you know, they might have been a runner. I've actually had somebody that's been a really good cardiovascular or endurance athlete their whole life, and so they've got that base covered.
Yeah.
But they're very weak.
Yeah.
You know, they have trouble bending over and picking up, you know, a 20-pound bag of mulch, and they want to do gardening.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so we need to build up your deadlift strength. We need to build up your posterior chain, learn how to do that safely, but also get you stronger. Yeah. And I'm not going to have you, you know, when you're in here with your hour for me, then I'm not going to have you doing running on the cardio because you're going to do that anyway. You like it, and you don't need it. So, but outside of that, you know, extreme, then yeah, you've got to give them everything to an extent. So I like to have people do variations of circuit training with you know, different exercises that move their body in all the different ways that they need to. Push, pull, squat, hinge, some type of core work, and maybe a carry. And then you've got all your bases covered. But yeah, I do think that people need everything, strength and the cardio.
Dope. So man, you're hitting so many different things. I don't want to hold you too much because I know I want to kind of wrap this up in a little bit. But let me know questions or concerns you may have, because again, you never participated, right? So I'm curious if there's anything like, hey, is this happening, or what do you think about this? I always want to kind of give you guys the floor so we can kind of, you know, interact on questions you may have. You may not have none though. What you kind of caught you off guard, huh?
No. For the next one, so well, this was one for me. I don't know if anybody else is going to have this question, but so it's a team of 4. You have to have at least 4 people. What if somebody wants to do this next one, but they don't have 4 people or 3 other people?
Man, great question. Unique question because it actually happened in the team of 2, and the way it happened in the team of 2, I think it was Life Fit. Shout out to Fabian from Life Fit. I think they had like 20-30 teams, and one of the members couldn't make it that morning. So one of the members actually went twice. Okay. So the team of 4, same scenario. Say you have guy 1, guy 2, guy 3, guy 4.
Okay.
But something happens with guy 4. Guy 1 will go, guy 2 will go, guy 3 will go, and then guy 1 will go again.
Oh man.
So, not saying it's fair, but the cool thing about it is completing it, number 1. Number 2 is a mindset that we got to set. Whatever you start, you finish. But number 3, also, when you do, depending on the programming of the exercise, the last time the team of 4, if I remember correctly, it was 5 different movements. Each person went on all the movements, and then the second person went on all the movements, and the third. So each individual still was able to get their stats and still kind of compare and contrast with all the athletes in the competition. So it would be the same thing if we had that type of format.
Okay.
But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, it's either A, the first person go again, or B, you know, once all 3 finish, they're done. Yeah, so, but definitely a team of 4 have an advantage, for sure.
All right.
You're like, dang, I got to make sure my phone come with it.
Yeah, I know.
You'll be good. Anything else you can think of?
No, not at the moment. That's the only concern I had.
Not at the moment. Cool. Well, I want to touch on this as we finish up, man. It's pleasure, man. It's cool to connect with different, you know, trainers, instructors, directors, man. So I appreciate you coming out to Fitness Depot and having this conversation with me.
Likewise.
So with programming that you have coming up? I know you have like Spartan, Tough Mudder, Beast Mode games, Savage Race. I know you have different programming that you have that you're building for those competitors.
Right.
What's the best way to get in contact with you? I know there's so many people that's going to come across this that do all these active living weekend warrior events. How do they contact you specifically?
If people want to contact me, email is probably the best way.
Okay.
My work email is just my name at giamalva.com. JARED@giamalva.com.
For sure. Are you on any social medias, Instagrams, and?
Yeah, I actually manage the club's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So if you look up Giamalva Racket Club on any of those places,
for sure,
or Giamalva RC, then that's us.
For sure. So what I'll do is at the podcast when we launch this, I'll make sure I put all your emails and direct, I guess, hits on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and any of those that you have. But man, I told you it's gonna go by pretty fast.
Yeah.
How long have we been talking, Dave? 24. Oh, we good, dude.
Perfect.
We good. So if there are no other questions, man, I'm out your hair. Looking forward to June 9th.
Yeah, me too.
Are you got a guy group, girl group, or
guy group?
Guy
so
group?
Far, yeah.
Sweet. So are you participating?
Yeah.
So Kevin actually participated last time for the first time. So.
Oh, that was his first time.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, he always have his groups, and we actually touched on this on his podcast. He actually participated, and it was one of those things. You know, as the leader of who he trains, he wanted to step in those shoes and show them he can get it done. But also, it was cool to be transparent. Like, I get tired, or I gotta prep like you prep. So it was good to see that from Kev. So I'm looking forward to seeing you do the same.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, that's it, man. I appreciate you, and see you soon.
All right, sounds good.
For sure.